Okay, thank you. If there are no further questions or comments on item number 4, we'll have much more discussion on this after the revise, and in the interim, we'll discuss these as you wish. Now we're going to move to issue number 5, capital outlay proposals. And for item 5, Mr. Troy and Ms. Hyman remain, but Corrine Hansen will be joining us from the Department of Finance. Now, issue number 5, there will be staff recommendations that we do take a vote today. It's not, at least as far as we know, a controversial item. So we will hear from the panel. Then we'll have an opportunity for questions or comments from the committee. Then we'll have public input just on item number 5, capital outlay proposals. And then we'll vote on item number 5. After that, then we'll have public comment on any of the issues we've discussed today. And we'll take as long as we need to get public comment on all the other issues, because I know a lot of members of the public are here. But we'll dispense with item number 5 first, and then we'll have general public comment. So for item number 5, let's begin with Department of Finance, Ms. Hansen.
Corrine Hansen, Department of Finance. In the governor's budget, we requested $99.6 million bond funds for 7 continuing projects, which will all be in the construction phase during the 15-16 fiscal year. And then during the April 1 finance letter process, we requested a reappropriation for the El Camino Community College District of $559,000 bond funds from current year to budget year, and also an extension of the liquidation period of $10.3 million for the California Community College Los Angeles Mission College.
Okay, thank you. Elio?
We have no concerns about these proposals. You've already approved earlier phases of these same projects, and the construction costs are in line with earlier estimates.
Thank you. Chancellor's Office, Mr. Troy?
Yeah, Chancellor's Office, obviously we're supportive of the proposal and the staff recommendation.
Any questions or comments from members? Mr. Allen?
Yeah, okay, so just so I understand, what made you choose these 7 projects out of all the projects out there?
They were previously approved, so this is the last phase for those 7 projects.
Okay, and so so this is the expenditure of 2006 bond funds statewide, and we're just rubber stamping it now.
Mostly, there's also 2 from a 1998
From
bond
1998,
fund.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then could you also explain to me what extending the construction liquidation period means? I don't know what
Sure.
that means.
So when you enter into a contract, you encumber the funds. It's kind of like writing a check. And then once the check is cashed, the money leaves the fund, and that's when it's been liquidated. So we've entered into contracts, but we haven't paid for everything yet, and the construction hasn't been completed. So the actual dollars are still sitting in the account, and we just need additional time to actually expend the dollars.
Oh, there'd been some sort of deadline for the expenditure?
Typically, you have 2 years to encumber and 3 years to liquidate. So.
And how come, what happened with that project? Why is it that it got so delayed?
Colleges want to comment on that?
Yeah, I might actually, we have our director of facilities on hand. I think she could probably.
It says
better
here there
be
were
able to answer
problems
that
with the
question than I
original
could.
contractor.
Susan?
Which one of the 2 are you wanting
This
to
is
talk
the
about?
LA Mission College Media Center.
Yeah, you could stay there. She could sit over there. Please introduce yourself and tell us your title.
Good morning, Susan Yeager with the Chancellor's Office. I'm the administrator of the facilities unit. The college had an issue with this particular project in that the original contractor was found to have not installed at the beginning of the project certain items according to code and the plans, the approved working drawings. There were also some issues discovered with the inspector of record. So that contractor was let go, or actually he quit. And what happens in that event is that the district turns to the insurance on the project, which is the bonding company. They then sent another contractor out. That contractor also chose not to proceed with the project. The project is finally on track. They have the 3rd contractor, and what has to happen first is that contractor has to fix the problems with the building. There are items that need to be redone. They were not done to code. Then once that is done, the actual construction of the building will be completed, but understandably that has delayed this process.
Do you know who the first contractor was?
I do not know the name right off the bat. I do have that in my files, but it would not be something we would feel comfortable putting out because the district is in litigation at this time.
Litigation with the contractor,
Yes, sir.
which presumably would be public.
That I don't know. We provide the money for the districts and expect them to move forward within cost and scope. When a district turns to their insurance, the contract becomes between them and the insurance company, and they have to work out a deal as to how to proceed. What I do know is that there is currently an investigation ongoing.
Let me suggest if Senator Allen wants the name of
Yes.
the contractor, and if the Chancellor's office has no legal reason to not make that information available to Senator Allen, then it should be made available.
I'd be happy to do that. I would be fine.
And just so I understand the process in a situation like
Yes.
this, and this is, we've all worked on construction projects.
Sure.
It's there, problems happen. In the case of a situation like this, who pays? There's an insurance company that has been.
The bond company would be on the hook for
And then there's a big battle over how much they're on the hook, whether they should
who's
be on
at
the hook.
fault, where the fault begins and ends.
And they will try to claim that the district,
Yeah.
didn't adequately oversee and.
Yeah, and they'll try to say, well, this was within, this matched the plans, that didn't. So obviously, both sides are going to try to mitigate their responsibility, but that will take time to work out. This is honestly, it's an egregious situation. I've never heard of anything happening at this level.
Was this some of the stuff that was in the LA Times a couple of years ago?
No, that was actually a different issue.
Okay.
This is more recent than that, and fortunately, that whole effort several years ago with what was in the Times prompted LACCD to redo their program. It's been totally revamped, and so this was actually found rather early in the process.
And do you have to provide a lot of guidance for districts to avoid these kinds of situations, and how do we, I mean, what can the state do to help with avoiding these kinds of situations? Because I think we were all appalled by what happened in LACCD a couple of years ago, and want to make sure that, there's not needless funds being spent on litigation, fighting with your insurance company, having to redo projects that should have been done well in the first place, et cetera.
The state was very involved, actually, in the revamp of the LACCD program. The then Assistant Vice Chancellor sat on a blue ribbon committee to figure out what had gone wrong, lessons learned, and best practices going forward. Currently, a specialist is assigned to LACCD who actually is going down there somewhat regularly for site visits to make sure that everything is on track in terms of the state-funded projects. We, the Chancellor's Office, provide a lot of direction to districts. Either I go out a lot and talk to districts about the requirements of the state program. When we see a problem, we ramp up the education in that area. We have an annual conference that's where we do the bulk of what's gone wrong this year, what can we fix, or what's gone right, what can we do more of. So we communicate a lot with our districts, and I try to be as available as possible, and they call me and let me know what's going on, and in that way I can respond to the issues, because if one district's having the issue, it's throughout. But I think what you're seeing here is the result of, during the recession, contractors were lowballing bids, and we've had a few projects that when you get that sort of thing, you get contractors who aren't able to do a good job. And in this particular case, though, this was particularly, again, egregious, and I will just say there is an investigation ongoing.
I guess this kind of continues to be a concern for me, though, this whole issue of having to take the lowest bid.
Low bid is an issue for our districts, but that is the current state public contract law.
I mean, it makes you wonder, are you guys interested in proposing some tweaks to the law so as to, ultimately, in the act of trying to save money, we sometimes end up giving contracts to folks who are subpar, and we end up having to spend a lot more money as a result of that decision. And I kind of wonder whether, and I'm not asking you to if you don't have anything prepared today about this, but I really would be interested in hearing from the chancellor's office and others to see if some changes ought to be made to avoid these kind of mistakes that end up being far more costly in the long run.
I won't comment on whether changes should be made or not, because I think that's a much larger discussion. However, in the environment where low bid is what we're operating with, we're working with districts about pre-qualifying bidders, about tighter bid specifications. The state architect, Chet Whittam, Department of DSA, has put a website up where he's basically listing contractors, and districts can go there and see if there have been problems. So it's trying to get the information out there to districts, working within these constraints. What can we do so that you're hiring competent, qualified contractors under low bid?
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I mean, I think this is, for those of us who love the system, love
Yes.
the community college system,
Yes.
and want to see it grow and continue to serve students, I think it's these sorts of situations are extraordinarily frustrating because, we're all out there trying to, talk to taxpayers, talk to voters about how important it is to fund these kinds of programs and new construction, and that's all great. And we know how good these kinds of programs can be when they're done right. It's up to all of us to really work hard to make sure that every single dollar is being extraordinarily well spent. So I guess I'd love to get some more information from you, whatever is
Yes,
appropriate
absolutely.
to share with me about that situation. And then kind of beyond that, I would like to have a dialogue about possible changes, law fixes, et cetera, that could help to avoid these kinds of situations while also making sure that we're focusing on financial prudence and cost savings.
And a comment from the LAO?
Mr. Chair, I'm aware of a pilot project that involves the community colleges and some community college and UC campuses on best value contracting. I'm not very familiar with it, so I'll have to go back and get you some more information on it. But my understanding is that it's a pilot that allows campuses to look beyond just at the low bid at some of the other factors. So I'll get you some more information on that.
I would really appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you for that detailed, helpful explanation. It was very helpful.
It was.
Appreciate that. And now, Senator Allen, does that complete your question? We'll move to Senator Morlock.
I think you've covered it really well, Senator Allen. It's a big frustration at the local level. This lowest, most responsible bid,
Yeah.
when you bite your lip, knowing you have to approve it, 'cause that's all you've got, and then you watch it just go sideways, and it's a mess. So pre-qualifying is one of the solutions, but this best value, I still haven't. It's a bill right now, and I'm trying to think of our colleague who's sponsoring it. But it went before Governance and Finance, I think, last week. But I'm still having a little difficulty with that because it adds all kinds of political components to it. Now it's who's given who the most in contributions, yada, yada, yada. So there's got to be some kind of positive incentive, but there's also got to be some disincentives.
Politics is invading Sacramento. Can't believe it.
Yeah, but I'll give you one. Well, I can give you horror stories all day long, but the system needs to be improved.
Okay. Well, with that, I think this particular item is not, although the system may be controversial, this item probably
I'll
is
move the
not.
item, yeah, I'll move the item.
Okay. So we will please, we have public comment only on this item, only on
Instruction.
the capital
Capital outlay.
outlay proposals in issue number 5. Any member of the public wish to speak on this? 1 minute.
Senator Allen, Senator Block, this is Patrick McCallum representing the LA Community College District, San Diego, South Orange, and other community college districts. We have, if you would like more information both on the Mission College issue of what we can do legally in sending that information, what the LA Community College District has done in the last 4 years, and more specifically, we have sponsored most of the legislation tried to change the bid process. And I think that the bruises on my shoulder are bigger than the bruises that would be on Senator Block if he tried to do a block grant around student success and stuff like that. But we'd be glad to give you the the analytical best value design bid. There's some design bids, very creative stuff that other states do. It can handle where you get low cost and value within it, but it's very complicated. But
Thank
anyway,
you.
we just
I would
want
be
to
very
support the
interested.
budget item on that.
Yeah, I'd be very interested. Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment just on that item? Seeing none, will staff please read the motion and open the roll?
Approve $100 million from general obligation bonds to support the construction phase of 7 community college projects, and April finance letter to reappropriate funds for El Camino Compton College Center and extend the construction liquidation period for LA Mission College Media Center. Senator Block?
Aye.
Senator Allen? Aye. Senator Morlock?
Aye.
Okay, please show this passing 3-0. Close the roll. With that, I'd like to thank and excuse this panel. Appreciate your input today. And now I'll talk about public comment. Public comment can be on any of the items discussed in today's agenda. We invite you to spend up to 1 minute telling us whatever you want to tell us. You can submit, if 1 minute's not enough for you, we will gladly take any written comments you have in addition to your 1 minute testimony. Now those written comments can come to us today, or they can come at any time, preferably in the next week, and we will make sure they get distributed to all members of the committee. But what I'll be asking you to do shortly is to fill up the 4 seats in the front here at the table, and then to always begin your comments by telling us your name and what organization, if any, you're representing. And again, then you'll have 1 minute to give your comments. So with that, I'd like to ask anyone who wishes to speak to come and fill up the first 4 seats, and then we'll have a line behind for additional speakers.
Okay.
We have 1 seat at the table still left. Okay, we'll move from my left to right, and then folks who are lining up now, when a speaker at the table finishes their 1 minute, they will vacate the seat and be filled in by the line so that we'll keep constant flow, which will make things move more efficiently. Again, start with your name and organization you represent. You may begin. First speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Senator Block and Senator Morlock and Senator Allen. My name is Fabio Gonzalez, and I am the president of the California Community Colleges Extended Opportunities Programs and Services, EOPS Association, which represents over 80,000 students in the community colleges in the state of California. And I was very happy to see the LAO report, where it actually shows you about 50% of our community college students are in financial need. I'm not sure how much aware you are of our program, but that's our population. We serve low-income, first-generation students. This is the reason why we have been against block grants from the very beginning, and we're beginning to see that this item comes up all the time. And this is the reason why our program and our people across the state have taken a very strong stand against this block grants idea, because they never get to the bottom of helping the students. We have programs that are, Dan Troy mentioned earlier, we have programs that are been in existence for almost 40 years. They are great. They have data to support what the differences that we're making in the community colleges within these populations. And we just want your support in helping us make sure that our budgets are restored, because while the system has
very
been,
much.
we haven't. Thank you again.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Debbie Rauscher, and I'm with the John Burton Foundation. I'm here to request that the subcommittee support a request made to the subcommittee by Senator Carol Liu to include $5 million for the implementation of SB 1023 enacted last year, which authorized 10 community college districts to create targeted support for foster youth. You will hear in a minute from students and campus support staff about why this program is so essential. I wanted to highlight, however, an analysis conducted by JBF regarding the use of equity plan funds to support foster youth. We analyzed 3/4 of the plans and found that 78% of plans allocated no funding specifically for foster youth support. The average allocation was only $49 per foster youth overall. The foster youth population on any individual campus tends to be small and is therefore often understandably deprioritized. Students with a history of foster care involvement, however, also tend to be very high need and have very specialized needs. As such, the expectation that adequate funds can be made available through equity planning is not a realistic expectation. Our analysis confirmed our concern that equity funding is not reaching foster youth and that funding for SB 1023 is necessary. And I'm going to leave copies of our analysis.
Very good, thank you.
Ryan McElhaney with the Community College League of California, representing California's 72 community college districts. We would first thank the committee for the robust discussion today, and we would request that when you consider the governor's budget and any potentially new resources, you look to preserving the flexibility that's inherent in this budget. Our colleges have faced a diverse array of costs, the coming CalPERS STRS employer contribution increase, increased operating costs, and this budget really recognizes that and recognizes that what happens in San Diego is different than what happens in Orange County and San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Patrick McCallum, representing San Diego, Los Angeles, South Orange, and other community college districts. We support the governor's proposed budget, but I think the two words would be subsidiary. I think the governor has done it. Is that when you look at this proposed budget and the budget that's been done, they're very prescriptive. There is a tendency to want to prescribe even more, but if you're a district and you're trying to deal with these challenges, you need to figure out a way how to integrate student success with basic skills, with EOPS, with dual enrollment, and all the other areas. So the two areas of most flexibility is growth. We hope you'll adopt that and look at more money for growth, particularly in San Diego, South Orange, and Los Angeles are growing rapidly. 2% won't be enough. Then the base allocation, $400 million in PERS and STRS, that's money that we can set aside for that, and a one-time money that there's flexibility within that. So thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Christina Wilcoxon. I'm a Butte College student, and I support the bill 1023. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Markel Nickerson, and I support the bill 1023. And I just hope that it goes on for a lot longer than the next couple of years.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Felicia Stanley. I'm also a student at Butte College, and I'm also here to support the bill 1023.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I'm Edge McCracken. I'm also a student at Butte College. I also support 1023. I believe it's important to support foster youth because they don't have like a support group. And plus, if you don't support them, they're going to do far worse things and go to college, like prison, other things, etc., which are going to cost you more money in the long term. And it's better to keep society more educated as a general. So,
Okay,
that's my
thank
piece.
You. Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I am a Butte College student. And I'm here to also support 1023.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Amanda Fleming. I go to Butte College. I'm 23. I'm here to support 1023. And also with the foster youth, financial aid, and everything, helping support, it helps some of us that don't know that we have that help out there for foster kids. It helps us know that there's at least someone out there willing to help us get in and out of school.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Sylvie Montejano, and I represent EOPS Association. I have been an EOPS counselor for over 20 years at Grossmont College. EOPS for over 45 years has successfully served underrepresented, low-income, first-generation college students. We are a strong student equity program with accountability, with transparency. We have been very successful, in fact, so successful that when the SSSP task force started developing the guidelines for their program, they used EOPS as a model. And I am here to ask that we maintain our categorical status, because there are many colleges that, EOPS has always been categorical, and the colleges in the state are not used to sharing the general funds with EOPS. And I will give you an example of what's going on out in the state. At my sister campus,
Very briefly.
Cuyamaca College, EOPS Care was told by the Student Equity and the SSSP committees not even to request any student activity funding because they would not get any.
Okay, thank you so much. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina Davis-Clark. I am a Sac State student and also a former foster youth. I was in foster care for 7 years, and I noticed right after I emancipated that there was a lot of issues in terms of getting my education as a former foster youth. I fell through the cracks a lot, and EOPS has been really instrumental in getting me to graduate. I graduated from Sierra College last year, first in my family to graduate from college, and I am now the first in my family to go to a university. So SB 1023 is very instrumental for foster youth, and I would love for every foster youth to have the same experience as I have in college. So please support this and fund it.
Well, congratulations on your success. Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Jose. I'm 23 years old. I'm a former foster youth. I entered the system when I was 14, and I go to City College, and I'm fully supportive of the bill, SB 1023, and I believe that will make a huge difference. And one of this program, I'm part of the Guardian Scholar at City College, and that program, it's been like a parent to me, because I don't have a parent. I don't have someone to call and said, oh, hey, dad or mom, I need money for a book. And you will understand, because probably you have kids where they call you and say, oh, I need money for this. I don't have that, or my other siblings, we don't have that in this program. It's like that in this bill. I'm 100% in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Tanisha Davis. I go to Mesa College in the 39th school district. I'm a former foster youth. I was in foster care since I was 8, and I aged out at like 20-ish, and I moved out. EOPS is really instrumental to me because they give money for book vouchers. They're the only help that foster youth actually has on that campus. They also give you more opportunities. So I support the bill 1023.
Thank you so much. And just to comment before we go to the next speaker, for all the students who've testified, you guys are all doing such a great job. I really appreciate it. The content is excellent for us to hear, and you're staying within the time limits and everything. So thank you so much for that. And we'll move now, no pressure, move now to the next speaker.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Michelle Dean. I am a graduate student at UC Davis, and I, too, am a former foster youth. I was in the system from 12 to 18 when I emancipated out of the system. Basically, these student support services that Bill SB 1023 is going to help provide is services such as funding, tutoring, families, they're like our family, guidance, mental health, housing, life lessons, all that good stuff that we don't have. A lot of us don't have because we don't have the families to support that. So these are areas that need to continue to be funded. And basically, students aren't getting a lot of these services because there's a lack of funding still, and there's a lot of qualified students that really need this support. So I really hope, and as a person who's made it to graduate school, I can testify that it's because of these programs that I got to where I am today. So I am 100% behind this funding for these programs, so please consider them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Vance Edwards, and I'm a program coordinator for a foster youth program at Butte Community College. It's a grant-funded program. And prior to the passage of SB 1023, private donors created programs on 10 community college campuses to prove that there's a need for and that these students need help. Our funding will be running out in a year when the donations run out, and we're hoping by funding SB 1023 that we can continue to support these students. These students are not being served by EOPS. Statistically, across the state, 100% of emancipated foster youth should be eligible for EOPS programs. Only 12% are actually participating, and the part of it has to do with the requirements of the program, the programs themselves not being funded, and also dedicated outreach, which brought these wonderful young people here today to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Susan Roberts, and I'm also with Butte College in the foster youth program, and I get the honor of working with the students on a day-to-day basis. I get to talk to them and hear about the things that go on in their lives, and daily I hear they're hungry, they don't have a place to live, they can't afford their school books, they're having anxiety issues that are making them so they're unable to participate in classroom activities that are going to cause them a problem with their grades, their retention. So this is super important for them. I can see we're affecting students every single day by our program, and I hope that you'll fund this so that other schools can have that same advantage for their students.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, Senators. My name is Stephen Nelson, and I work as an employment specialist at the Guardian Scholars Campus Support Program at City College of San Francisco. Every day I work with youth who find the Guardian Scholars Program to be a crucial source of support for their academic success, from receiving transportation assistance, book vouchers, to having dedicated academic and financial aid counselors, having their own computer lab, and getting help with scholarship applications and transfers to four-year schools. The Guardian Scholar supports them at every step of the way. The efficacy of these programs has been demonstrated by recent studies showing that it increases student retention by 300%. What other program can you point to that increases student retention by 300%? That's pretty remarkable. Funds spent on the implementation of SB 1023, they're a great investment. It will produce foster youth who are, going to be entering the workforce as competent, productive members of the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Susanna Niffen with Children Now, here also in support of direct funding for foster youth through SB 1023 implementation. These children are the state's responsibility legally. You must take care of them. And while there's such a small number in our community colleges that they often fall through the cracks, we're really asking that you guys not forget them and provide this dedicated funding.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
My name is Stephanie Ortega, and I'm the Guardian Scholars Director with Promises to Kids, a nonprofit in San Diego County with a mission to create a brighter future for foster children. I would like to also add, echoing that sentiment, that foster youth are unique in that they are the only population for which the public sector becomes their legal parent. While there are strong arguments to assist youth with disabilities or homeless youth, foster youth are unique in that the foster care system removed the child from his or her home and assumed responsibility for their full care and custody. Given this, there is a special responsibility for ensuring that the educational needs of foster youth are met. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Castaneda. I'm a student at San Jose City College. I'm a low-income, first-generation college student. And I really need you to support EOP&S. I've been going to that community college for about 5 years now, but ever since I've been in the program, ever since I've had their financial support and emotional support, I've been able to stay in school full-time, pass all my classes. I'm a straight-A student now, and I'll be graduating in May. So I really need you to support EOP&S. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Selena, and I also go to San Jose City College. And I ask that you support EOP&S because not only is it just a program, it's a support system. For people like me, low-income first generation, you don't really get the support at home that college and furthering education is important. And with this program, you constantly have counselors and people there pushing you, sky's the limit, you could reach whatever you want as long as you have the support. And with this program, you definitely have it.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Nico, and I am a future student, and I support EOPS. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very good. Next speaker.
My name is Patricia, and I'm also a college student, low-income first generation, and I also support EOP&S.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Griselda Paz. I am from San Jose City College, and I am here to support EOP&S, a program that helps and supports above and beyond the duty for low-income students. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Arcela Gomez. I became a mother very young, and I'm the first in my family to attend college. So I would like to finish school supporting this bill to change my children's future.
Thank you. You know, we're hearing just little bits and pieces because of the short time we have, but very inspiring stories here, and it's good to know our community colleges are doing the job they're doing, and want to hear from the rest of you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Melissa Martinez. I'm a San Jose City College student, and I'm in support of this bill because the money right now that's being designated locally is not going to EOP&S, and it would be very beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Dee Dee Cost, and I'm a student at San Jose City College, but I'm also the president of the Honors Program. And I know that the focus with the state this last several years has been student success. But for me, I'm going to ask that you have the restorative and increased funding for EOPS, because how can you have student success when you don't have the funding for the students? To be quite frank, I see them on the other side in the Honors Program. I hear their stories. I know what they're going through. I can't describe what it's like to have them become honors students and graduate and go out into the workforce. Whether it's their age, your age, or mine, we need to have the restorative funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Yeah, my name is Adrian Garcia. I've been a college student for the last 4 years, and I reached out to EOP&S when I first started coming back to college, and I was denied because there was no fundings. I heard lots of great things about the program, and I'd like to see it come back and be fully funded how it was before and continue the legacy it had before. Thank you.
Next speaker.
How you doing? My name is Ryan Heineman, and I'm a student at San Jose City College and a veteran. I'm here to support my peers and mentors in EOP&S. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Moise Morales. I'm another San Jose City student, and I support the EOPS because I get a counselor, that worries about me during the year, and that's it.
Great, thank you. Next speaker.
I just want to thank you for letting me speak. My name is Alex Duran. I'm a student at San Jose City College as well, and I support the EOP&S program to help future and current with low income to receive the same opportunity in education.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Jonathan Lightman on behalf of the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges. We also support EOPS, and we appreciate the connection and the attention to the need for more full-time faculty and part-time faculty office hours and its correlation to student success. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Erica Romero on behalf of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. We're excited to see more money available for courses and also the programs that enable student success. There is a significant achievement and opportunity gap for underrepresented students, and as the May revise comes out and we see hopefully even more money, we look forward to seeing funding for those programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Tara, and I'm a student at San Jose City College. I'm also here to support my peers and my classmates in EOPS. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Alejandro Lopez, and I'm an instructor, counselor at San Jose City College, and I'm here to support the restoration of fundings for our EOP&S. I work with a lot of students, hundreds of students, thousands of students, and really I can see that how EOP&S, their ability to counsel and support students is a lot stronger than what we have in general counseling, because we're seeing thousands of students within EOP&S that we're able to really establish relationships with students and help the first generation students get plugged into the community college and the community. So I'm here strong to support the restoration of EOPS funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I am Karen Micalizio, Dean of Students at Butte College, and two of my programs are EOPS and our foster youth program, Inspiring Scholars. And both of them, while in EOPS we serve a high number of our foster youth, there are pieces and reasons why they don't fit into the EOPS eligibility right off the bat, and SB 1023 helps alleviate some of those issues. Not all foster youth are ready for 12 units when they first come to college. It's not a good idea. We want them to have a good experience, and sometimes 12 units at the get-go is not the right thing to do, but getting them connected with EOPS early so that the next semester out, and if not the next one after that, they are ready for 12 units is a huge thing. So in addition to EOPS funding restoration, that 1023 helps us with that add-on program to make sure that we do have targeted services in addition for our foster youth because their needs are so extreme. So thank you very much for considering those.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the committee? Seeing no other people who wish to make public comment, any closing comments from either senator?
I was a former instructor in a community college in my area, and I just want to thank the folks who came in to speak. Inspiring stories. Keep telling these stories because I think they really do underscore how important this program is, helping students who don't have a lot of support services in place in their home life to get the tools they need to succeed, and it's inspiring. And I thank everyone for coming and sharing your stories with the committee.
Thank you, Senator Allen. Senator Malak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I got here a few minutes late. I apologize for that, but I referred to Dr. Kevin Starr, who was a former state librarian, and I had the honor of working with him on the California Sesquicentennial effort 15 years ago. So I'm sure invoking his name now is so long ago, but he's an outstanding California historian and author, and if you have a chance to read any of his books, you'll agree. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, with that, if there's no further business for the committee, we stand adjourned.